Raising a child can be pricey. A new government report finds the average middle-class family will spend nearly $250,000 to raise a child born last year, and that's nearly a 2% jump from 2002. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is with us. Jill, good morning. I think anybody who has kids knows that this is true, but why has it gotten harder?
Well, first of all, the numbers are pretty stark, 245,000. A lot of this is just your housing costs, about 30% attributed to housing. There is food, there's education, there's childcare. I'm not like, really preaching to the choir to parents. You know all these expenses. They do add up. And what's pretty remarkable is that as these expenses have increased, there are some areas that have gone up way more than others. Healthcare has doubled. And we noticed that childcare costs up very dramatically as well.
Are those long-term trends continuing on that same path?
Well, they are long-term trends that we have seen, because if you look at healthcare, we know those costs have been up and very dramatically. But let's say we go back to, say, 1960, right? We go way, way back and we say, what was the cost of healthcare then? It's doubled now. And then we look at the childcare costs, which have gone up from 2% back in 1960. Get this, it's now 18%. So that's why if we look in today's dollars, the cost of raising a kid in 1960 is about $200,000. That's 20% less than today. And to your point, Nora, part of the problem and the struggle that people are articulating is that household income has actually been dropping.
That's right. Since 2000, right, average household income has dropped about 6%. So it is true. People feel like they're not getting ahead, that they're falling behind, and it's actually true. They're making less money and everything costs more.
That's exactly right. And I think that this is the notion of like the unrest that you feel below the surface, where people say, okay, there was a terrible economy, we're in the recovery. Why don't I feel better? Because your median household income is kind of frozen, and as you say, down 5.9% since the year 2000.
It's also interesting, and I think not surprising, that geography plays such a big role in how much you feel this.
Absolutely. Well, there's a big difference between urban and rural, right? Because just the cost of housing is very different, where if you have an urban setting, your housing's about $73,000, rural's $45,000. If we go into the urban areas, urban Northeast, the most expensive area, then the urban West is next, Midwest, and then we go into the South. But again, these numbers, they are staggering for most families. If you are really worried about it, start crunching the numbers early. Don't let money dissuade you from having a kid, though. I have to point that out.
It's depressing news, but it's nice coming from you, Jill.
Oh, thank you so much.
And if you have 3 or more, like I do, you amortize the cost.
That's it. It's a beautiful thing. Good job, Nora.
You're a winner.